anyways, this is a story he loves telling, and I'm always like, oh, that's the least of your concerns, but whatever. So, just stuff like that. I got suspended in high school for drinking, and we skateboarded to the dance from my friend's house, and I don't skateboard, so I fell all over the place. But we got suspended once we got there because we were all dressed the same, and one of my friends got caught. So, anyways, suspended from school. But like that, the only part that bothered me with that is I ended up being like the salutatorian. So it was like one under the valedictorian, and so I got 1B in all of high school. When it came to other things though in high school, like I knew how to manipulate the system. I knew how to, like, I don't know that I fully read a textbook the whole time I was there. Like I knew what I needed to read in order to get straight A's on the tests. And like in the classes that I couldn't do that for, I were actually like my favorite classes, like my calculus class and my class. But I would do the actual work, but I could manipulate the system. So, the addiction or the addiction behaviors, like the characteristics of people with addiction, were definitely there. But if you would have asked me if I was addicted to alcohol or any drugs at any point in my life, I would have said no. So let's see. After all through high school, had a boyfriend, like I said, for 4 years. Graduated, and with straight A's, I think I had like a 4.125 or something like that. Anyways, there was no question I was going to go to college, so I went to Cal Poly. But in that, I didn't really know what that entailed. Like I wasn't ready to leave my family, and my boyfriend went to the Army, and my friends all went to San Diego State. So I didn't know what to anticipate. I didn't fully comprehend what that meant, and so when I got there, I ended up getting really depressed, and all I would do is study. And then I developed an eating disorder, and it's so weird looking back because all of these things go right along with characteristics of addiction, just trying to control things in your life like that are outside of yourself in order to feel in control of some sort. So for all intents and purposes, I guess it would have been anorexic. Like I ate like 1,000 calories a day, and I would work out twice a day, and it was just like obsessive. But I didn't drink a drop. Like I got out of high school, and I felt like, oh, I'm done with that. Like I'm done with drinking and drugs and whatever else. I think I had done ecstasy a couple times. And one time I got like this horrible speed effect. So I was doing this thing with my jaw the whole night, and I was like, just stop it. But this was in high school. And so I was like, yeah, just no, I will never do these drugs. And so, let's see, I went to Cal Poly. I was only there for a year because I decided that I didn't want to do the major that I had gone there to do, which was kinesiology. And I wanted to go to medical school and be a doctor. So I ended up coming back, here to Santa Cruz, and I went to Cabrillo to get my general education like out of the way. And I thought, oh, I'll become a paramedic while I'm getting that general education out of the way. So I went to paramedic school, became a paramedic. In that, I had tried, like, I think I was 20 when I tried cocaine for the first time. And it was like, oh my gosh, I have finally found it. Like, this is amazing. But I didn't have like a dealer. I wasn't connected in any way with that. It was like more of a party thing. Okay, well, I'll do it here, do it there. I remember we went to Cancun one time, and just like random dudes, we just got cocaine from them. We're doing cocaine with them all night. Like looking back, it's like, how did we know that was cocaine? Like, what are we doing? Oh, that reminds me, in high school, I almost we stole a lot. Like we would just take things from stores, just for the rush of it, like just for the adrenaline rush. And, I kind of characterize that with addiction, and also like just getting away with stuff, being rebellious. But, one time we were in Tijuana, that's why it reminded me. We were in Tijuana, and we stole some stupid trinket, like some fish plate or something that we don't even need. It was just for the rush, and we got caught. And thankfully, one of my friends spoke Spanish. Otherwise, we would have been in Tijuana jail. Like, there is a God, and God has looked out for me like through my whole life in these crazy ways. But okay, so Cancun in 20. So that was the first time that I really did cocaine more than just party here or there. We drive around and do it like all night long with a couple friends of mine. So then, let's see, fast forward, I didn't do like I had a couple relationships where I drank a ton, like I drink a bottle of wine a night. I was with a guy for 4 years when I was 20, so 20 to 24. And he was an alcoholic, and we would, so in that I became one at that time. Like I wouldn't have said that then. I drank like a bottle of wine a night. And we would get in these crazy arguments and just nuts. Just the stuff that you do when you're drinking is just absolutely absurd. Like just mistrusting things and moving out and moving in and chasing people down the street and just nutty things. Cheating never helps either with not cheating, him cheating. That did not help. But yeah, so the rest, like after that boyfriend, I met my ex-fiance, and we were together for 4 years, and he had a dad that was an alcoholic and drug addict. And so I sensed that he was having an issue with me drinking, and so I stopped. I just stopped. And so that's another like, oh, I'm not an alcoholic because I could just stop. No big deal. But that relationship lasted for 4 years. We bought a house together, and then we were engaged to be married. And 3 months before our wedding, he met a 19-year-old on his bachelor party and left. And he came back from his bachelor party and was acting kind of weird. And mind you, the dress was bought. The people were invited. Like, we were getting presents sent to my house. Everything was planned and paid for. And when he came back, I asked him what was wrong. And he said, well, I just haven't been happy in 2 years. So I don't want to get married and I don't want to be with you anymore. And I was like, what? Okay. And then it was two weeks later that I found out about the girl. That was really freaking hard. Oh, and I had become a firefighter shortly before I met him. So I was 23 when I got hired. So 4 years as a paramedic, and then I got hired at 23 and was a firefighter. Well, 23, 24. I turned 24 in the academy. But where was I?
The marriage.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that part. He left and said he's not paying for the house if he's not living there. So our $4,200 mortgage was now all on me and my family because my parents had co-signed with him because I had owned a house before that I had a short sale. So it was 8 months of like just utter horror for me. It was returning wedding things and oh gosh, it was just so painful. But in that, I didn't drink. I didn't do drugs. I was adamant about not doing anything, not even taking antidepressants, because I was like, I just want to feel this and I don't want to like mask it with anything. And it's crazy now thinking about that because that's so logical. Like, yes, why would you not do that? Why would you want to take anything that's going to make it worse? But that's like the logical part. So I can't, it was a shock to me then later in life that I used that as a coping mechanism when before I didn't.